If you could talk to yourself on a different timeline, like a previous timeline, like you right before you met him, you right before you met her, what would you say? Would you encourage that version of you at that time to proceed with a relationship? Do you think it got you where you needed to be on your path? Or did it seriously and drastically delay you in a painful way? I want you to take a look at where you're at right now. 5 of Pentacles. Feeling left out in the cold, feeling abandoned and all alone, sort of isolated and neglected, like left to figure it out for yourself, feeling very spiritually destitute and poor, in lack, lonely, figuring this all out by yourself. Because even though you're in a relationship right now, you feel alone. If you just got out of your connection, you feel alone. Before your chance encounter of meeting that person, you were thriving. You were thriving. You might have convinced yourself that you weren't. But would you say that where you're at right now is better than where you were before you met them? Go to an hour before you met that person. I don't care if it was 30 years ago. I don't care if it was 3 weeks ago. I don't care if it was 3 years ago. I don't care if it was 10 years ago. Go back to an hour before you met that person and tell me that you didn't drastically transform. An hour before you met that person, before your life literally shifted and transformed and had a death and a rebirth, or maybe just a death. A tower moment. If you were to go back and really take a look, would you say it was worth it? Would you say you would recommend that to yourself in a different timeline from the past? Would you say, yeah, go ahead and meet them? Or would you say detour immediately, reroute? You will lose years, hours of your life, months, decades. Your soul will be worn down and depleted. I think what you didn't realize is an hour before you met them, they already knew who you were. Yeah, wow. 10 of Pentacles and High Priestess with Knight of Pentacles. This person knew who you were and what you were capable of and where you were headed. You were actually, although you wanted to feel very down about yourself or maybe not really think that you were as far as you would have liked to have been at that time, an hour before you met them. Think about everything that led up into an hour before you met that person specifically. 30 minutes before you met that person, a day before you met that person. Just think about it. You were in your entirety. You were a whole person, okay? You were headed to having your whole legacy and foundation established. You were in touch with your intuition. You knew your calling, and if you didn't, you were so close to knowing it. You had recently probably overcome a lot already, but you had done everything by yourself. You were very independent and self-sufficient, were you not? I can hear some of y'all say, no, I wasn't. I just got out of a bad relationship. Well, then that's not the one I'm talking about. Go back to the first one that did this to you. That made you feel like you needed to go from relationship to relationship. Go back to that one. But for 90% of y'all, 95% of y'all, I'm talking about your current relationship that you're in right now. Are you telling me that you're in the best shape you've ever been in, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially? Heavy on mentally? Are you not drained and depleted and in lack spiritually? Have you not transformed into something that you hardly even recognize? Because, like I said, with this Knight of Pentacles here, you didn't know an hour from then you were going to meet that person, but it knew. I know what I just said. It knew. This was a slow and steady progression to get you up into the point where you met it. It knew you, though. Yeah, it knew you. Slow and steady. It played the long game. Before it even approached you, before it even ran into you by chance, it had already been studying you. It really knew everything about you. Yeah. Seven of Swords and Six of Pentacles. My God, if that's not the most obvious shit. Seven of Swords is sneaky and deceptive behavior, lies. Yeah, scheming ass shit, plotting ass shit, deceptive ass shit, sneaky ass shit. Mismanagement of trust. Six of Pentacles is an uneven give and take. Taking too much, giving with strings attached, draining you completely. Expecting something in return or expecting something for nothing at all. You thought that it was an equal partnership because when it met you, y'all were good. It really sparked something in you. You didn't realize that it had an ulterior motive because it really presented itself as everything that you had ever wanted. And it told you everything you wanted to hear. It knew you had an abandonment wound from prior situations in childhood and previous relationships and past friendships and different situations that led you to be neglected and abandoned. So it knew that you had that core wound. It knew that you had anxiety already. Yeah, it knew. It knew that you were already getting to a point where you were very self-sufficient and beginning to trust again and really preparing for your soulmate, if I'm being quite honest. And it wouldn't let that happen. No. Right before your soulmate was about to approach you, it did. And it pretended to be everything that you had ever wanted. Everything that you had worked for, really. To heal yourself, to be able to connect with a real connection. Somebody that you really had a bond with. You were ready for that. That person was real close. Your intuition told you that too. You knew it. But when it approached you, you thought that was the soulmate. It pretended to be that. I mean, you really, really thought that. Truly. You really, truly thought that. Yeah. Three of Cups. Y'all really were celebratory and y'all had a lot of fun. I think in the beginning it was very light, very social. Y'all probably maybe met through some mutual friends or met at a social situation or met a friend of a friend or something like that. Or y'all went to go hang out with friends together. I think y'all were really laid back and having a blast, right? It really got you comfortable. Yeah. Six of Wands. It gave you attention. And I'm not talking about a compliment here and there. I'm talking about it really gave you attention. The attention that your heart was seeking, that your soul was craving, that you secretly desired and didn't even probably know that you really wanted and needed. It gave you that. It saw you in a way that nobody had seen you in a very long time, if ever. And I think for the first time in a very long time, you felt seen. You felt acknowledged. Somebody actually, or something actually saw you for who you were. Your heart and your soul, it recognized you. And you recognized it. But it was mirroring you. So when you recognized it, you were really recognizing yourself and all the good things that you were. It took your self-love and convinced you that was external. Because really, all that love that you felt for it, that was really from you. You loved you. You saw you. You admired your traits and qualities, your sense of humor, your hobbies, your opinions, your communication skills, your ability to light up the room. That wasn't theirs. That was never theirs. That was yours. That was always yours. It absorbed your light and flashed it back to you. And you loved it. Because it was in somebody else. And you thought, wow, we have the perfect connection. I really think it gave you hope. You really thought that this was a positive new beginning. You really thought, man, I can finally see like the brighter side of things. I can really see a potential future with it. You thought you had found your soulmate. You really did. It kind of sparked something in you and made you think, wow, maybe life isn't so bad. Maybe this is what I've been waiting on this whole time. Because you had already done some inner healing. Not everything. Nobody's perfect. But you already come to a place of, I'm actually ready to meet my counterpart. I've done the work. And this person really led you to believe that they were emperor material. Y'all could have had kids with this person. They could have been the father to your kids. Or in general, they could have just been somebody who really just led the way. You trusted them to lead. You trusted them to lead. You really trusted their guidance and their opinion, and they really made you believe that they could be in charge and that they operated in integrity and they knew how to run a home and they made good decisions for the both of you. Aries energy, Leo energy, Pisces energy on the board, Aquarius energy on the board, Cancer energy on the board. The Strength card, this person really, not only did they exude strength, they made you feel strong and capable. They made you feel like you could take on the world. Y'all were a team. Y'all were a team. You really gave this person your all. They made you feel like you had power and they were powerful, like a power couple. This person really was your protector. You trusted them to really lead the way. You trusted them to guide you and keep you safe. You really did. You would have literally held their hand and blindly walked into traffic with them, and you just knew that they would get you safely across. You probably found yourself kind of floating off into space whenever you were with them, because they kind of just, as long as you followed them, you were good. You could turn your brain off. And for somebody like you that was always so hyper independent from previous traumas, for you to be able to trust somebody else to lead and make decisions for you, and they really took that off your plate. I mean, this is somebody who really knew you from the inside out. Every little thing that would really cure your soul, everything that you really secretly desired, they were draining you. They kept a lot under the surface. I think after a while, maybe your intuition started getting little hits. Nothing so loud that you knew what it was, but there was something that started to feel a little off-putting. You couldn't quite put your finger on it, so you ignored it. You shoved it down, but it knew you would do that. It actually dispersed little tiny intuitive pings just so it could know that you would literally diminish your own voice to listen to it. It was testing you. It actually pushed your boundaries a few times with this Strength card. It just wanted to make sure that you wouldn't stand up for yourself. You wouldn't go against it because you trusted it so much. Yeah. You really put it in a position of power because they were the leader. They were the emperor. They were strong. They were kind. They gave you hope. They were your 10 of Pentacles. They were consistent and they gave you attention, and they literally could read your mind, it felt like. I think after a while you started noticing that this person that once fulfilled you maybe was a little bit self-serving, and you thought, this is a weird side to them I've never seen. Must be a phase. And when the intuitive hits started getting a little bit louder and a little bit louder and a little bit louder, and they started getting maybe even a little bit aggressive and controlling with you, just a little bit, nothing too major, just a little thing here and there. But then they'd reel it back in. They'd apologize. Yeah, they'd apologize. And you'd say, oh, yeah, you were just having a bad day. Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you were having a bad day. When you realize that their motives were a little bit self-serving and they kind of did something that was out of character for them, and you thought, wow, that was a weird way to handle that, or that was a weird thing to do, or is there something I did to make you act that way? Because you had never seen it act like that before. You never did. So you were really like, is everything all right? Did I do something wrong? They made you sad because they acted sad, and you thought, maybe I did something. Maybe I was acting selfish. You started getting very sad. But then they'd fix it, and they'd give you hope again right here. Baby, I'm sorry. They'd go back to giving you the attention that you needed and making you feel strong again, right? So you were like, oh, okay, I was probably just over-exaggerating. Yeah, everything's fine. It got to the point where they quit giving you attention. And in turn, by wanting that attention and that connection again that you felt in the beginning, and even all the way up until probably the middle of their relationship, a good long portion, I mean, they really set it in stone, the expectation, until they didn't. You started giving them attention. You started seeing that maybe they were getting external validation, and that's what they wanted. They wanted attention from others. That attention that they used to give you, it almost seemed like they didn't have that in them anymore. They didn't care about you anymore. They really withdrew. You kind of started to feel like they were keeping things to themselves. They were lying about certain things. That aggressive shit started happening a little bit more often. And I think you found yourself really sad more often than not. It really became a cycle for you. It kind of put you in this repetitive loop. It was like happy, in love, comfortable, let your guard down, angry, aggressive, controlling, apology, love bomb, love bomb, love bomb, avoid, disappear, ignore, blame shift, happy, sorry, love you, love bomb, get caught in the lie, apologize, love bomb, avoid, 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 ignore, ignore, ignore. Stonewall, apologize, love bomb, yell, love bomb, retreat. It really fucked up your mind. You really didn't know left from right at this point because you're thinking, what happened to this person? And I'm pretty sure they even told you, you did this to me. Look how you made me act. I never used to act like this. Look at the reaction you're getting. And you started to feel like it was you. You got trapped in your own fucking head. You really didn't even understand what was real and what wasn't real because you really were just chasing what you thought was real because that was real. Why isn't it real anymore? What is real? Why are they being like this? What can I do to get them back to how they are, how they're supposed to be, how they showed me that they were, who I know them to be? And every time you tried, I mean, it might last for 5 seconds. You might get a good solid day out of them, if even that. But you knew what would happen after that because y'all were in a cycle. Y'all were in a cycle. You were trapped. I think the arguments became more and more frequent, and what used to be passive aggression maybe really turned into actual real life aggression. Very, very violent and aggressive situations, lots of conflict. I think you found yourself defending yourself more often than not, and you really, I mean, it's almost like if you didn't defend yourself, they would really just bulldoze your ass. I mean, they would completely take over the situation. They were very possessive over you. They almost felt like they were entitled to your energy, your time, your space, yourself, your body, your personal everything, your brain, your finances. They needed to know your whereabouts. They treated you like you were doing what they were doing. And you thought, what the fuck is going on? You really didn't even understand what was real and what wasn't anymore because they gaslit you so much that nothing was really clear. You lacked mental clarity at that time. It's like you were always kind of deciding left from right, good from bad, right from wrong. I mean, you didn't know what the fuck was going on. You didn't know what version of them you were going to get that day, that minute, that hour, that week. It really tangled you up You were literally like stuck at a crossroads because you didn't even know how to act. If you chased them, they withdrew and left. If you withdrew, they were already withdrawn or they would get angry. If you argued back, they would love that shit and they would drain you. If you ignored them and didn't argue back, oh, they'd come for you until they got a reaction. And then they leave right as soon as they drained you. I mean, the shit was sick. And you could always feel that you were just an option at that point, that there was definitely some third parties involved. You could feel other people's energy on them. You could just know that when they were leaving, what they were doing. And you know how you knew that? Because the same way they used to dress when y'all first met, when they were trying to impress you, that's how they started dressing again. The same little cute names they used to call you in the beginning, that's the words they started saying again on accident. Oops. Sorry, not babe, I mean. The same way they used to cheese on their phone and text you little cute shit. You see them cheesing on their phone sometimes. The same way y'all used to be holed up in the room together, not even knowing what day it was, night from day. Y'all be all over each other, inseparable. They'd be gone for a couple days. The same way you used to text them, you would hear their phone ding, ding. And they hated you. They looked at you like, and it fucked you up. Because remember their motives in the beginning, 7 of Swords and 6 of Pentacles, they're just executing the plan they always had. This was always the plan. Because you had a higher purpose. You weren't supposed to be doing this. You could have been with your actual soulmate. You could have been following your calling. What happened to you was not fair. They were a wolf in sheep's clothing. They were the enemy. You fell for it. You thought that when they met you, y'all made a great team, and that this could actually work, and that y'all collabed well together, that y'all really got along, y'all could really build something. But really, it's like, it was a tower moment. The whole relationship, this was a tower moment, but in slow motion, like Knight of Pentacles style, gradual. Like they played the long game with you until they didn't. And when they stopped playing the long game is when you saw their true self. That wasn't just a phase. The phase was them acting, pretending to be everything that you ever wanted, but really, it just knew you already. And it knew your wounds. It knew your insecurities. It knew your triggers. It knew what would take you out. It knew what would distract you long enough for it to get all 10 swords in your back. Because there was always a third party in y'all's connection. You, their empty vessel, and what was operating that empty vessel. The devil knows no new tricks. And it worked. You completely retreated from the plan. You retreated from the plan. You had a calling to attend to. You were on your path. You were following your destiny. You were literally getting to be who you were supposed to be on your highest timeline. Fulfilling your soul. The whole reason you're here in the first fucking place. On this earth in this lifetime. Baby, you have a legacy to fulfill. 10 of Pentacles. But instead, you're sitting here heartbroken, devastated, betrayed and delayed, and stuck and under somebody's literal control. You gave your power away. You gave your power away. That's how you know you're powerful, because they're an empty vessel and they're able to dominate you with your own power. And you're sitting here weak, acting like you can't get away, so controlled and undermined and so twisted in your head. Babe, this is not to victim shame you. This is to let you know that I see what's really happening here, and I'm telling you, I feel for you. But that's your energy, that's your power. That's not their power. They don't have control over you. You loved you. There's nothing in there for you to love of theirs. There's nothing in there. Well, there's something in there. Everything that you loved about them was just what they knew about you. They just mirrored you back. That's just your other half. That's them pretending to be you. Do you get it? That person doesn't exist. Do you get it? Do you get it? They don't have power. You had power. So now you are acting like you don't have power because why? They have your power. So what do you do if somebody takes something from you? You get it back. You don't let them control you with your own power. That's your power. Do you know who you are? They promised you a happy home. And then they disconnected. They promised you they'd fall in love with you and that you were the best thing ever. And then that cycle ended and you're just stuck here being dominated and controlled. And everything is happening so fast and you just can't get a hold of it. You're not even taking care of yourself anymore. You just keep thinking about the home you were supposed to have. The hot and cold non-committal shit. The third parties. How you're getting drained. How you're devastated. How you're stuck in a cycle. How they're lying. Nothing that they did was the truth. Not one thing. It was all set up. You needed to protect yourself. You needed to understand that the very first time you got those intuitive hits, you would have been able to disconnect and leave, but you were too infatuated, but you weren't in love yet. You weren't toxically binded to a demon yet. You could have gotten out of there. You still had control over your emotions. You just didn't know. They snuck up on you too fast because, babe, the devil doesn't kick down your door and say, bitch, come here. It's not gonna come in with horns and a fucking goddamn fire pit of hell. It's not gonna, it won't seduce you that way. It's gonna show you everything that you think you want. Everything that really caters to you and your inner child and all your wounds and your past betrayals, everything that you need to feel secure. And then it drains your power. And then you're stuck, or so you think, but you're never really stuck. By the time you know it, you're so far off track and you've been sitting here fighting with this demon for weeks, months, years, decades, some of y'all decades, at least 10 of y'all is decades of getting nothing in return. If you were to look at it, what did you get out of it? You're standing at this crossroads right now and you should literally do what you know you need to do. You're already weak where you're at, but at least crawl to the right place and heal over there. You can't heal in the same environment that's hurting you. Yes, sure, you love them. So you think. So you think. Babe, this is literally limerence and infatuation. You are just addicted to a drug right now. They've gotten your fucking endorphins so fucked up. This is all just illusion and confusion. Okay? You're so outside of yourself and inside your own head and just needing to feel validated again and needing to feel what you thought was real. You're searching for something that doesn't exist. You're in a confused state. Your brain is foggy. You're not making the right decisions. You're not yourself anymore. Look in the mirror right now. Look in the mirror right now. Look in the mirror right now. Go get a picture of yourself from an hour before you met that person. Please. And look at those first two months of when you were with that person, when you were glowing and thriving and happy and laughing and smiling and feeling whole. If that's an empty vessel and you're feeling whole and thriving and glowing, babe, that's your own energy. That's self-love. You have it. You have it. It was already in you. Take it back. Take it back. Don't give them the power anymore. Don't give it the power anymore. Get out of there. You have to. It'll all make sense right now. It'll make sense not right now, but whenever you leave, then it'll hit you that everything that you just experienced was an actual fucking labyrinth of mind games and it was a mind fuck. You're being psychologically tortured right now. Okay? I know you feel like you can't leave, you don't want to leave, you love them so much, but I promise you, even if you love them 49% and you love yourself 51%, please give yourself that 1% more. You deserve that 1% more. You've been through enough. If you can't love yourself more than you love them, babe, who's going to love you? You have to take that 1% at least and just use that shit to crawl out of there. Think about your future. You have to. You have a higher calling. You have more you need to be doing. You have shit you need to be doing. This isn't it. This isn't it. King of Swords in reverse. You're not mentally clear. They're able to mentally manipulate you right now. You already know that they're the enemy. You know that. There's no way you think this is your soulmate. There's no way you see yourself 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years from now sitting on a little porch with a white picket fence holding his hand and y'all are telling your grandkids and your great-grandkids your love story. What are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell them? Yeah, babies, whenever we met, he faked everything, and then he abused me and manipulated me, and I begged for him back, and he triggered all my abandonment wounds. And I mean, I was so weak and beat down to the point where I didn't even recognize myself, but I held on. And then here we are now, 80 years later, I'm still miserable, holding on for dear life, telling this story. No, your soulmate would never do this to you. You know that. You're not in your right state of mind. It's okay. Nobody's judging you. Every woman has been through this. I'm telling you right now that you're stronger than you know. You're smarter than you know. You're wiser than you know. You're beautiful inside and out. Your soul is so fucking beautiful. You have an endless supply of energy and love and strength. You're more than capable. You're under a demonic influence right now, sweetheart. It's torturing you. There's some shit going on that's otherworldly right now that it's hard to get out of, but if you can just get out of it for a little bit, you'll see, wow, I was really in what I thought was a labyrinth, but really all I had to do was take 2 steps. That's it. Once you get out of there and get fresh air, it's like you're in a fucking house that's on fire and you feel like you're trapped, you can't leave, every door has fire in front of it. Babe, just fucking push through that shit. You might get a little bit burned on your hands or something, but get the fuck out the house so you can see that you can make it out. Yeah, you're gonna have some scars. You're gonna be a little fucked off. What other chance do you have if you stay there? You're gonna just sit there and burn in the house that's burning you, that you know is on fire? It's not gonna be comfortable to burn your hand, but babe, you're about to burn alive. Get out of the damn house. You have to. When you get in the front yard, you'll really see what's going on. You'll be able to analyze and you'll be able to see that you're emotionally manipulated. You'll be able to see that your own emotions and your kind heart and your soul was literally weaponized against you. Your own power was used against you. That's how powerful you truly are. That not only could you fuel an entire empty vessel, demonic being, but you had just enough power for yourself left to get the fuck out of there and take your own power back. You have an endless supply, and that's why they kept you around for so long. They were feeding off of you. Okay? When you get away from it and get off of, pull the IV out, get off the charger. You're not fueling them anymore. Rip that shit off and run. You'll refuel within 3 days. Get you some rest, and then you'll look back and say, whoa, that was fucked up. You're in a dreamlike state right now. You're under heavy mental illusions and fog, psychic fog. You feel real hazy. You almost feel like you're in a withdrawal phase, like you need this person. No, you need you. That's why you're withdrawing, because you need more that's of you. You're actively being drained, so you feel like you need something and you think it's them because they have you, but it's you need. Do you get it? They've never poured anything into you. Yeah, it's just a bad cycle. I know it's easier said than done. And when you leave, you're going to still be in withdrawal for a little bit. But you're going to have to be strong enough in the mind to say, this was not real. This was a night terror. I was being psychologically tortured by a demon for Lord knows how long. And you just got to give yourself some grace. Show yourself some compassion the same way you would them. Because there's the devil and there's the Queen of Pentacles. And that's y'all's relationship. Grounded, nurturing, fully capable, smart, stable, wise. The devil needs no introduction. It's just a bad cycle. It's meant to make you feel abused and confused and neglected and alone. But you were alone when you met them. You were alone the whole time you were with them. You're alone now. And as soon as you get out of there, it'll try to reattach for sure. Stay strong. If you ignore it for long enough, you'll starve it. You've been feeding it for Lord knows how long. You'll get your hope back. Right now, you're the only hope that they have to continue to feed off of you and drain your emotional fulfillment and keep you empty and in a mourning state. They're draining your entire legacy from you, your purpose from you, your calling from you, your path. Get back on your path. The path that when you were a little kid, you used to say, this is what I want to do. That was your higher self telling you, come on, you can do it. All those dreams you used to have, all those premonitions you used to have, all those goals you used to have, all the things that used to make you happy, the shit you were actively working toward, the shit that gave you a passion, a spark, energy, a rush, this creative spark that you've always had within you, that was your higher self telling you that you had already made it. Anything that you've dreamed of or thought about or wanted to do, that was just your higher self like, hey, we're already up here. You ready? Find your way to us. Okay? Yeah, it feels like you're being delayed, but everything is in divine timing. I know it sucks, But people say it's impossible to not fulfill your path. It's absolutely possible if you don't leave the second you realize it. You've learned the lesson. What more is there to learn? You see where it's headed if you stay. It's really time to pour back into yourself right now. You've got to take your power back, because this is where you're at right now. And if you were able to pour all that love and all that compassion and understanding and care into an empty vessel, a demon, quite literally, imagine what you're going to do when your soulmate gets here. But until then, babe, you've got to be your own soulmate. And you've got to recognize when something is worth it and when it's not worth it. And you've got to know when people are observing you and plotting on you. Because this won't be the last time that somebody approaches you, but you're going to know next time that that feeling that you get where it just moved a little bit too fast, like they must know you. You'll be a little bit suspicious next time. You'll know. That feeling of butterflies, baby, that was anxiety. That was your spirit guide's like, run. And you're like, isn't he dreamy? No, that's you. You're in love with you. You just need to regroup and isolate for just a little bit and heal independently. But you do have to get out of there. It's time, babe. You've done enough. There's like literal light at the end of the tunnel. Seriously. You still have your sweet soul. You will be okay. It'll be a process. You'll need to really pour into yourself, but you just need to get back to square one, being independent. This really is your death and rebirth. This is the actual one, not what they tried to do. Now, that was never part of the plan. You don't realize that once you replenish, how strong you're going to be, how smart you're going to be, how wise you're going to be, how capable you're going to be, how brave you're going to be. And you're going to waste no time. You're going to get right to it, I promise. 7 of Wands. You'll know how to protect yourself next time, and maybe just have your guard up a little bit more. Nobody's judging you. I really do wish you nothing but the best. I really do want you to get out of that situation, and I'll be praying for you and sending you all the love and light and strength. And in this lifetime, when we're chosen and when we walk with the light, when we have a higher purpose, we never ask for things to be easy, because we know they won't be, because the lessons that we learn right now are shaping us into who we need to be. That's the truth, okay? Growth never really happens inside the comfort zone. It's built through pain and suffering, to be honest. It's molding you right now, and you've completed that lesson, though. You don't need to go through this anymore. You don't need to go through this anymore. It's time. It's time. You'll never let this shit happen again, will you? Yeah. It'll be okay. Get out of there. I got this. I got this. I got this. Just send you all the love and light. You're going to do great.